Today we are going to introduce add and subtract equations. First, we're going to go back to our mental math by circling the solution to the addition and subtraction equations below by mental math. So saying 3 plus what equals 15. And here we say, what could we replace x with to get a correct equation? And that would be that 3 plus 12 equals 15, just by mental math. And then the second one, y minus 15 equals 20. So what could we place there and subtract 15 from and get 20? And just knowing that what is 20 more than 15? What is 15 more than 20 to give us that? In that by mental math, we could say that 35 minus 15 gives us 20. But what about if we had a subtraction equation like this? N minus 53 equals 28. This particular subtraction problem isn't necessarily something that all of us can do using mental math. So we are going to learn how to solve them. And when we solve, we want to get the variable by itself. When blank more than one step, we will use order of operations PEMDAS. When the equation is more than one step, we will use PEMDAS. But for today, we are going to just concentrate on one-step equations. So here we have W plus 43 equals 91. So in order to solve, I'm going to rewrite my problem. And our first step is going to be to draw a line. So we'll say step 1, draw a line through equal sign. Step 2 is going to be to identify inverse operation. So we know that inverse operation is the opposite operation. So here we have addition. So in this case, the inverse operation would be to subtract. So we would write a subtraction sign on both sides of our line. And then step 3 would be to solve by isolating the variable. So our goal in solving is to isolate the variable, get the variable by itself. So if the variable is being added by 43, we are going to use the inverse operation and subtract by 43 on both sides to get the variable by itself. Then 43 minus 43 becomes 0. So that goes away, and we just have W left over on this side. And then we subtract like normal. 91 minus 43, 8, or 11 minus 3 is 8, and 8 minus 4 is 4. So that W equals 48, and we're going to box our answer. And then we're going to check our work by taking our original equation and plugging in. So we said that W was 48. So if we substitute 48 for W and get 48 plus 43, does that equal 91? So if we go over to the side, 48 plus 43, 8 plus 3 is 11, 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. Yes, 91 does equal 91. Therefore, our solution is true. Okay, let's try this again. So remember we said that we were going to first draw a line through our equation. So let's rewrite our equation first. So this time our variable is on the right side of the equal sign, and that's completely fine. We're going to solve it the exact same way by drawing a line through our equal sign, and then we are going to identify that this is addition So the inverse would be to subtract. So if this is adding 17, and I know that it's adding 17 because it is a positive 17. So I would subtract 17 from both sides. If I were to add 17 to 17, that would give us a really big number, and that would tell me that that was the wrong operation. Because the goal is to get the inverse, or to get y by itself. So 17 minus 17 is 0, leaving y by itself over here. And then 35 minus 17, we have to borrow. 15 minus 7 is 8. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So I'm going to write this with the variable on the left side, and y equals 18. And to make sure I did not make a mistake, we would take our original equation, and instead of y, we would plug in our solution of 18. And if we're not sure if that's true or not, we're going to go ahead and go off to the side and add them. 7 plus 8 is 15, and that is 35. So yes, 35 does equal 35. Therefore, our problem is true. I'm going to press pause, and I want you to set this one up on your own, and then press play when you have finished. Okay, so for this one, you should have rewritten the equation and identified that the operation is subtraction. Therefore, the inverse operation would be addition. So adding 38 to both sides, giving you m equals. Go ahead and finish solving, and then check your equation to make sure it's true, and press play when you have finished. Okay, you should have gotten 148 and then checked your solution. So when I was actually solving this, I, for some reason, subtracted right here, even though it says to add, and it gave me a really small number. And so when I went to check my solution, I was able to find my mistake. So super, super important that you are checking your work. Last one is a decimal. We have 4.5 equals x minus 4.23. Even though it's a decimal, we solve the exact same way. We get that x minus 4.23, the operation is subtraction. Therefore, we use the inverse operation, which is to add on both sides. And in this case, we are adding the number that's next to the variable, which is 4.23, so that we can isolate the variable. So negative 4.23 plus 4.23 becomes 0, leaving x by itself. And then we have this operation. So I actually want you to finish this and check your solution, and we will check this tomorrow in class. And then that is it. Make sure if you have any questions, you ask for help.